I still can't believe this went to trial.
Well, the district attorney wants to make an example out of Mike.
She should be ashamed of herself. Everyone's calling him a hero.
Yeah, except for the media and the liberals running for office. It's what you get in an election year.
I hear she has political aspirations, and a win here would be big for her future.
I hope Buddy Roy is as good as they say. After all, his sobriquet is Matlock.
Yeah, but Matlock, he was a fictional character.
Superior Court of the State of Georgia is now in session. The Honorable Judge Roy Bean the Fifth presiding. All rise.
You may be seated. This is the state versus Mike the Mime. Is the defense ready?
We are, Your Honor.
Ms. Baldwyn, is the state ready?
We are, Your Honor.
Very well. You may proceed with your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Objection.
Oh, come on. I haven't said anything yet.
Doesn't matter. Whatever comes out of your mouth is bound to be bull hockey anyway.
Your Honor.
Counselor, are we going to have us a replay of last month?
No, Your Honor.
I certainly hope not.
What happened last month? Nothing. Just setting the tone.
Just setting the tone. Wait, have you been drinking?
Readies me for battle.
Proceed, Miss Baldwin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Objection!
Your Honor!
Damn it, Counselor. Now, Counselor, I'm sensing a replay of last month.
No, sir, Your Honor.
Now, are you sure? Because I have a sneaking suspicion that when the district attorney begins her opening statement, for the third time I might add, I'm going to hear another objection emanating from your mouth. And if I do, you know what that means.
Yes, I do, Your Honor, and you will not hear another objection from me until an appropriate time.
Now, Counselor, I have that statement on record.
I know you do, Your Honor, and I stand by it.
Very well. Ms. Baldwin, you may begin. Again.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Objection.
Bailiff, I'm going to have you remove Mr. Roy for contempt of court.
What did you do? Not to worry. I have everything under control.
I don't think so.
A good lawyer always has a couple of aces up his sleeve.
Bailiff, please remove Mr. Roy from the court.
Your Honor, I don't know if that would be the prudent thing to do.
Beg pardon?
Approach, Your Honor.
Get up here.
How's the missus, Judge?
Oh, don't you how the missus me, boy. Now, I don't know what cosmic joke has you continuously showing up in my courtroom, but I've had it up to here with your shenanigans. More than 40 years on the bench, and you're the only attorney I've ever seen object during an opening statement.
Professional courtesy notwithstanding, it is allowed, Your Honor. I'm sure the district attorney is well aware.
I'm well aware you like to wear a diaper and shit yourself. You can see it up and over the top of your pants.
And I'm well aware that the judge there has a 22-year-old Vietnamese male prostitute under his desk pulling at his gavel as we speak.
Beg pardon?
How you doing back there, pal?
I do fine. You're right, buddy, son. Judge couldn't resist pow.
So, under the circumstance, I believe His Honor will rescind that contempt of court charge and give me a little more latitude than usual during this trial, it being an election year and all.
You've got to be kidding me.
Well, now, Counselor, it would seem that you have me quite literally by the short hairs.
Not me, Your Honor, pal.
So I will grudgingly give you a little bit of latitude.
Your Honor, this is blackmail, and I will surely bring it up before the state bar.
It is what it is, Ms. Baldwin. We all have our peculiarities, and you will do nothing of the sort if you plan on continuing practicing law in this or any other state. Now, you two, sit your asses back down. Counselor, you may begin your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how y'all doing today?
Doing well.
Fine.
Good.
I have a rash.
Doing well, are we? Glad to hear it. My name is Buddy Roy, and I'll be serving as counsel for the defendant. Now, I've been lawyering for as long as I care to admit, and I must say, this is undoubtedly the best-looking jury I have ever had the pleasure to present to. Yes, sirree. And smart? I can just tell by looking at y'all how smart you are. That's a lovely scarf, by the way, young lady.
Why, thank you.
Brings out the color of your eyes. Bet all those gentlemen callers can't resist those eyes, can they?
Oh,
Your Honor, seriously?
Counselor, get to the gist.
But of course, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, the state is trying to portray my client as some sort of Charles Bronson-esque vigilante who took the law into his own hands. And in doing so, not only took the lives of 2 citizens, but recklessly endangered the lives of other civilians. When in reality, he was legally defending himself against the Coalition Against Buskers, or K.A.B., a terrorist organization who was preying upon individuals in his community. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you please, turn your attention to the video screen. It is said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Now that is what is left of the lovable Bippo the Clown after the K.A.B. had their way with him.
Oh, for the love of humanity!
I'll never be able to unsee that.
Order! Order, I say!
Don't turn away. Take a good look.
I can't look. It's an abomination.
It is an abomination.
Order, I say! All right, now I'm gonna clear this room if you all don't behave yourselves. Counselor, continue.
Never again will Bippo be able to put a smile on a child's face or fill a child's heart with joy. Sure as Sunday not looking like that. And yet, this is precisely what the K.A.B. intended to do to my client. Now, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, what is the worth of a smartphone video? Again, I direct you to the video screen. Exhibit A, a video of the incident in question taken for little Kevin Loomis's birthday party.
Oh, it feels so good in my pussy.
Oops, wrong video. I apologize for that. Another case in which I'm involved concerning a prominent politician. Let's try this one.
It's like a civil war going on with black people. And there's 2 sides. Black people and there's
Okay. Well, now, a perfect example of why one should separate work files from personal files.
Okay, motherfucker.
Okay, third time is the charm.
It better be, Counselor. I don't think I could take the Hong Kong hooker with a ping pong ball video again.
That video, Your Honor, has been permanently purged from my hard drive.
You have no idea how glad I am to hear that.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the Loomis video.
This is a great birthday party, Mrs. Loomis.
Well, thank you, Timmy. We're going to have cake and ice cream after the Mime finishes his show.
Mrs. Loomis, am I supposed to talk?
What the hell's that idiot doing?
Order!
I know it's tough to look at. It's not every day we get to see people getting shot full of holes and blowing up all over the place. But these individuals were bad guys, hell-bent on kidnapping the defendant and committing Lord knows what atrocity on him. May I remind you of Bippo the Clown? Take a look at the video screen.
Oh, for the love of God, man!
I would appreciate if the gallery could keep their breakfast down.
Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, stand your ground in the state of Georgia allows for an individual to use deadly force or force that is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm if that person reasonably believes such force is necessary to prevent death or great bodily harm to themselves or a third person, or to prevent a forcible felony such as rape, armed robbery, or kidnapping. The defense intends to prove that the defendant, a legal gun owner with a valid concealed carry permit, acted in self-defense and within the rule of law when he was viciously accosted by the ruthless terrorist organization known as the K.A.B. And with any luck, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have this case wrapped up and y'all be out of here just in time for lunch and home in time for Murder, She Wrote on Cozy TV. That sound good, young lady?
Oh, that would be wonderful. I do love Angela Lansbury.
Who doesn't? And I think today's episode is the Magnum crossover.
Tom Selleck is so dreamy.
The prosecution would like to call Silent Sam to the stand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
If you would state your name for the record.
My name is Silent Sam.
Mr. Sam, do you know the defendant?
Yes, unfortunately.
And how is it you know him?
We work in the same profession.
Mr. Sam, what is it you do for a living?
I am a mime.
Like the defendant?
If you can call what he does miming.
Do you ever work together?
Absolutely not.
And why not?
He's a horrible mime. He talks. Who ever heard of a talking mime? His acts are crude and disgusting. He shouldn't be allowed near children, and he's mean. No one in the mime community can stand him. Only a few in the busker community can tolerate him.
Objection. Hearsay.
Sustained.
Mr. Sam, you said the defendant is mean. How so?
He has a horrible temper, and he can be violent. I saw him punch out a fellow mime once. Marcel Monroe broke his jaw. Poor Marcel's mouth was wired shut for a month. I'm not surprised he shot somebody.
Objection.
Sustained. The jury will disregard the witness's last statement.
Right, like the jury really didn't hear that.
No further questions. Your witness.
Mr. Sam, this alleged incident where the defendant punched out a fellow mime and broke his jaw. Now, this fellow mime had to have his mouth wired shut for a month, you say?
Yes, he did.
Couldn't talk, could he?
No, he couldn't.
Guess it's a good thing he's a mime.
Objection!
Order.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I couldn't help myself.
Counselor, if we could put a kibosh on the stand-up.
I will refrain, Your Honor. Mr. Sam, this alleged incident where the defendant punched out this fellow mime, were assault charges ever pressed against the defendant?
Not that I am aware.
Were the police even summoned?
I don't believe so.
Mr. Sam, is it not true that this alleged incident was actually a trap set by you and the so-called Brotherhood of Mimes in order to inflict bodily harm on the defendant? And the defendant was simply defending himself against an angry maggle of mimes.
Well, that's not entirely accurate. We didn't want to hurt him. We just wanted to let him know we were unhappy with his act and that maybe he would like to find another park somewhere to perform.
So, you figured throwing a brick at his head that caused a deep cut above his eye and luring him to a remote section of the park only to surround him with this angry maggle of mimes hell-bent on inflicting bodily harm was more effective as a persuasion tool than, say, talking to him over a cup of coffee at the coffee hut. Mr. Sam, would it be reasonable to say that anyone in that situation might feel themselves in danger and would do what they could to defend themselves, including punching out a mime? Mr. Sam, feel free to mime your answer if you're finding difficulty articulating it.
Objection!
Overruled. The mime will answer the question aloud.
I guess.
No further questions, Your Honor.
The prosecution would like to call Karen Loomis to the stand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
Please state your name and occupation for the record.
My name is Karen Loomis, and I am a housewife.
Are you not the mother of little Kevin Loomis?
I am.
And on the day of the shooting, did you hire the defendant to perform at your son's 9th birthday party?
I did.
Would you tell the court what happened that day?
Well, the mime arrived on time and performed for an hour or so. The kid seemed a little confused at first.
Confused? How so?
Well, they were surprised that a mime talked during his routine. Mimes aren't supposed to talk. It's basically the point of being a mime. If I wanted someone to talk, I would have hired a clown.
Objection. Relevant.
Sustained.
Please continue.
We were about to have cake and ice cream when a van came out of nowhere and stopped in front of our house. 2 men jumped out of the van, and before I knew it, the mime was shooting at the 2 men. The men fell, and the van began to pull away. The mime shot at the van, and the van crashed into our neighbor's mailbox and exploded into flames. It was mayhem.
What was everyone's reaction to this mayhem?
We were terrified. Bullets flying, dead bodies in my yard, fireballs in my neighbor's. Needless to say, the party was ruined, and the children were traumatized. My son hasn't been able to sleep since. We had to seek professional help for him because of it.
Mrs. Loomis, when you hired Mike the Mime, did you have any idea he would be carrying a firearm?
Goodness, no. I wouldn't have hired him if I knew. Which child performer in his right mind carries a gun?
Motion to strike, Your Honor. Witness is a housewife, not a psychiatrist, and cannot testify to the defendant's state of mind.
The jury will disregard the witness's answer.
Like they didn't hear that either.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Care to cross, Counselor?
Yes, I would, Your Honor. Thank you. Miss Loomis, you just stated that had you known that Mike the Mime was carrying a firearm, and legally, I might add, you would not have hired him for your son's birthday party. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So, who would you have hired instead? A juggler? Balloon artist? You mentioned a clown. Would you have hired a clown?
Perhaps a clown, yes.
But not Bippo the clown. Take a look at the video screen.
I'm gonna turn out my eyes.
Order!
Miss Loomis, isn't it possible that the K.A.B. could still have targeted your son's birthday party and kidnapped another fine member of the busker community?
It's possible, I guess.
And that performer could have met the same demise as Bippo the clown. Take a look at the video screen.
Order! Order, I say!
I suppose.
But instead, we have a disrupted birthday party and a few frightened kids talking to their shrinks. Small price to pay to end the K.A.B.'s reign of terror, wouldn't you say?
Objection.
Withdrawn. You don't have to answer. No more questions, Your Honor. Jury heard that.
The prosecution would like to call little Kevin Loomis to the stand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
Kevin, how are you today?
I'm fine.
First time in a courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Little nervous, are we?
Maybe a little.
Well, there's nothing to be nervous about. All we're looking for is the truth. And there's nothing to be nervous about when we're telling the truth, is there?
No, ma'am.
Now, Kevin, let's go back to the day of your birthday party. It was a good day, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All your friends were there. They brought you presents. There was food and cake and ice cream, and your mother even hired a mime to entertain everyone. Isn't that true, Kevin?
Yes, ma'am.
And the mime your mother hired was the defendant, Mike the Mime?
Yes, ma'am. And he was very funny.
He was?
Oh, he was reenacting the night of the 2016 presidential election when everyone on TV was going crazy. He was making a lot of funny faces and pretended to cry hysterically. All my friends laughed, except for Jimmy Boyd. His dad works for CNN.
Okay, Kevin, let's move on from the Mimes Act to when the van pulled up to your house. When the men pulled up, how many men got out of the van?
2.
And were these men armed? Did you see any weapons? Did they carry guns or knives?
Not that I could see.
Did you see anything in their hands?
Well, I think they had some rope and maybe some duct tape.
Rope and some duct tape. Hardly the type of weapons that would justify the use of deadly force.
Objection.
Overruled.
No further questions.
What time is it?
It's 11:40.
Why? Lunch in 20. Time to wrap this up. Kevin, is it?
Yes, sir.
You did well, son, answering the district attorney's questions.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Didn't seem nervous at all. Still not nervous, are you, son?
Oh, no, sir.
Are you sure?
Well, maybe a little.
Nothing to be afraid of, son. The district attorney might bite, but I'm harmless.
Objection!
Withdrawn. Now, Kevin, is it?
Yes, sir.
Now, Kevin, you just stated that you didn't see any guns or knives or weapons of any kind in the two men's hands. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
But you may have seen some rope or duct tape.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, Kevin. Duct tape can be a dangerous thing in the hands of a Mexican plumber. And if I was a black man jogging off a West Pacer Fair Road and a couple of good old boys put up next to me in the General Lee with a length of rope in their hands, I might be inclined to pick up my pace a bit.
Your Honor, seriously?
I'm just saying, Kevin, almost anything can be used as a weapon. Tried a case once where the murder weapon was a hula hoop, yet no one clamors for hula hoop control.
Your Honor, would I be wasting my breath?
Counselor, save it for your clothes.
You're right, Your Honor, I digress. Now, Kevin, is it?
Yes, sir.
Kevin, I don't want to talk about weapons, or terrorists, or intent to do bodily harm. No, sir. I'd rather talk about your hair.
My hair?
Kevin, you have awfully long hair for a boy. Is that the style for boys these days?
I don't know, I guess.
I bet you could twist that hair in a ponytail. Or put it up in one of them man buns if you wanted to.
I guess.
I remember my grandmammy used to wear her hair up in a bun and bake apple pies. Kevin, do you like baking apple pies?
Objection! Your Honor, where is this going?
I would have to agree, Counselor.
Approach, Your Honor.
If you must.
Pow still under there with you, Your Honor?
Proceed.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Kevin, how old are you?
9.
9, huh? That's a good age. Don't you think that's a good age, Kevin?
Sure.
Not quite at that age where you start noticing the changes, though. Boys' voices don't start changing till 12 or 13. But I have to say, your voice is unusually high-pitched, even for a 9-year-old boy. Any of your friends or classmates ever tell you that you sound like a girl?
Objection!
Overruled.
Oh, come on!
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Nothing sadder to see than a 9-year-old boy crying like a little girl because someone hurt his feelings.
Your Honor, he's badgering the witness.
Sit down, Ms. Baldwin.
I didn't hurt your feelings, did I?
I don't know. A little. Maybe.
Need a handkerchief?
No.
Got one right here. Keep it in my pocket for the ladies.
Your Honor!
Kevin, your mother stated in her testimony that you were so traumatized by the incident at your birthday party that you could no longer sleep and you needed counseling. Is that true?
Yes.
But this counseling your mother spoke of, it's not for any post-traumatic stress due to the incident at your birthday party, is it? Eyes on me, son. Isn't your counseling really for gender transformation and that you are undergoing sexual reassignment at the bequest of your parents?
Objection!
Overruled.
Well, maybe.
Isn't it true that your parents really wanted a girl and convinced you, a once strapping, 9-year-old, all-American boy, that you are really a frilly little girl trapped inside a once strapping, 9-year-old, all-American boy's body?
Objection relevant!
How's it going, Pow Pow?
Judge take long time. Pow give him fulfillment.
And your parents wanted you to go through gender transformation so you can be more at peace with your inner self. Isn't that right, boy?
Yes, it is.
You know, they're gonna lop off your penis, son.
I know. I'm scheduled for next month. I don't want it lopped off. I like my penis.
You don't sound convincing, son.
I love my penis! My parents are sick, Mr. Roy. They believe there's a spectrum of genders. Like that dork science guy on TV no one has watched in over 20 years. A spectrum! But there are only 2 genders. Anybody with half a brain and a second-grade education knows that. My parents say I'm only average at men's sports, but I may be good enough to compete with the girls one day, and I would have a better shot at a woman's scholarship for college. So for the past year, they pumped me full of hormones and made me grow out my hair. I'm forced to wear dresses and makeup at home, and they call me Cynthia, with a K for crying out loud. I hate that name.
Cynthia, you don't mean that.
The hell I don't! You and soy boy dad, who's never held a job that I can remember, preach this twisted gender's a social construct bullshit and that children should be allowed to choose their gender when they're good and ready. Well, guess what? I'm ready, and I choose the gender I was born. A male! I want to be a man and revel in my toxic masculinity. I want to grow up and do manly things, like drink whiskey until I puke and have sex with strippers, like that red-headed babe in the back of the courtroom sitting between the midget and the old guy, and hunt wild animals with my guns. My guns! To which the Constitution of the United States of America entitles me. Mike the Mime had every right to defend himself against those terrorist assholes. I can only hope that when I grow up and become a man, I'll have the balls to defend my family and others from those who wish to do them harm. And guess what, Mom and Dad? I'm keeping mine. So it's concealed carry city when I come of age, because the only thing stopping a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
Order! Order, I say!
Get him, Dick. Counsel.
Fuck you!
Your Honor, we, the jury, move to acquit.
Oh, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it.
One would be hard-pressed to believe it, even in a fictitious universe.
And yet, it happened.
Mike the Mime is a Ross production and features the voice talents of W. David, Eileen Land, T.A. Norman, Catherine Murphy, Spencer Chase, Madeline Ross, Colin Michaels, and Carson Skidmore. Mike the Mime is produced, written and directed by Scott Ross, with music provided by stockmusic.net. Please visit our website at MikeTheMime.com, where you'll find t-shirts, hats, and posters for sale, as well as the release dates for upcoming episodes. Mike the Mime will return in Episode 5, Marvel the Mystic returns, or Mike and Trixie see a play. Until then, thank you for listening, and remember, life's tough. Be tougher.